go to do Ode to the Mouse, and I have to capture that mouse first. Right, I'll get my friend Wally to capture the mouse. No, come over to the microphone there, Lord. Okay, well, I'm not sure if you all can hear me, right? But in burn suppers all over the world, right? One of the key pieces on the agenda, right, is a recitation of Tam O'Shanter, right, which is one of Burns' best known poems, right? It's quite a long poem, and I leave out bits of it, right? But it's a story about Tam O'Shanter, right, who is an ordinary working class Scots fellow, right, who likes his drink, and it's a story about his adventures one night, right, trying to get home from the pub, right, and there's a moral to the story at the end, right, but okay. So, we'll start, right? When Chapman billies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late, and folk begin to tag the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy, and getting fou and unco happy, we think now of the lang Scot smiles, the mosses, waters, slabs and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her off to keep it warm. This truth found honest Tam O'Shanter, as he frae airy night did canter, all there, where ne'er town surpasses, for honest men and bonny lasses. O Tam, hadst thou but been sae wise, as ta'en thy ain wife's Kate advice, she told thee weel there was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November till October, a market day there was na sober. That ilka melder wi the miller, thou sat as long as thou hadst siller, that every nag was cad a shoed on, the smith and thee got roaring flew on. That at the Lord's house even on Sunday thou drank wi Curtin Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi warlocks in the murk by Alloway's old haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened sage advices the husband frae the wife despises. Okay, right. But to our tale. A market night, Tam had got planted on right, fast by an ingle blazing finely, with reeman swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient trusty drouthy crony. Tam looed him like a vera brother. They had been fou for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye, the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with favours secret, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rear and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm or hustle. So, anyway, Tam eventually decides to go home, but it's a very stormy night, and he's to ride his horse past Alloway Church, right? And that's where the next action goes, right? Wheel mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam scalped on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering round wi' prudent cares lest bogles catch him unawares, Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where ghosts and howlets nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, where in the stow the chapman smored, and past the birks and meikle stane, where drunken Charlie breaks next bane, and through the whins and by the cairn, where hunters found the murdered bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well, where Maggie's Mungo's mother hanged hersel. Before the moon pours all his floods, the Dublin storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a blaze. Droilka bore the stucks, the beams were glancing, and loud resounding mirth and dancing, right? Now Tom doesn't have the sense to ignore this and get home, right? He's tempted by what's happening in Kirkalloway, right? And this is what he finds there, right? Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn. We tippany, we fear nae evil. We Usquabe, we'll face the devil. The swat sae reamed in Tammy's noddle. Fair play, he cared the deals a bundle. But Maggie stood right here, sair astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light, and bowed Tam saw an unca sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae cotillon brought new frae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathpays and reels, put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick, in shape of beast. A towsy tyke, black, grim and large, to gie them music was his charge. He strewed the pipes and gart them skirl, till roof and rafters added dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses, that showed the deed in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip slid, each in its cold hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the Haley table a murderer's bairns and Gibbetairns, twa span lang wee untrussen bairns, a thief, new cutted frae a rape wi' his last gasp, his gab did gape. Anyway. But what attracts Tom's attentions is the lassies, right? Ah. Well, most of them aren't lassies, right? But there is one that there, right? Now Tam, oh Tam, had they been queens, plump and strapping in their teens, their sarks instead of creasy flannin, been snow white 1700 lingen. Their breeks o' mine, my only pair, that once were plush o' good blue hair, I would have given them off my herdies for a blink o' the bonny birdies. But no, withered beldams, auld and droll, rigwoody hags with speen a foal, louping and flinging on a crummock, I wondered did not turn my stomach. But Tam kent what flew brawling. There was a winsome wench in Whalley. That night enlisted in the corps, lang after Kent on Carrick shore, for mony a boss, beast to dead she shot, and perished many a bonny boat, and shook both meikle corn and beer, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cuddy sark o' Paisley harm, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best and she was vaunty. A little kent thy reverend granny, that sark she coughed her for her wee nanny. We £12 Scots, 'twas our riches, would ever grace and dance o' witches. how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowered and fidged full pain, and watchful and blue he white and made. Till first he caper sign another, Tam tint his reason altogether, and roars out, "Well done, Cuddy Sark!" And in an instant, all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied. So, he's now got to... He's now got the sense to get home, right? And he's got to cross the river Alloway, because the witches can't cross it, right? So, as bees whiz out we angry fight, when wandering heads assail their bite, as open pussy's mortal foes would pop as she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud, so Maggie runs, the witches follow, with mony an eldritch screech and hollow. O Tam, thou'll get thy faring, in hell they roast thee like a heron. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystone of the brake. There at them thy tail may toss, a running stream they darena cross. But ere the keystone she could make, the feet to tail she had to shake. For Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with fury's nettle. But little wist she Maggie's mettle. He sprung, brought her off her master hail, but left behind her ain grey tail. The Carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie, scarce a stump. So finally, the moral of the story.
We do know to the mouse in a second.
Now while this tale of truth shall read, elk man and mother's son take heed. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o'er dear. Remember Tam O'Shanter's mare.
Is also going to do Ode to a Mouse, and indeed we have captured a mouse, and I have a gentleman here with the mouse, and he's going to present the mouse to Gordon. Now Gordon, Ode to a Mouse. Well, you have to come back to my friend. My good friend Wally actually now, and he's very fond of mice.
To a mouse.
Now, I'm going to go to make Wally.
Okay. We sleeked Curran timorous beastie, oh what a panic's in thy breastie. Na needna start a wassy hasty we bicker and prattle. I would be laith to ruin and hasty we murder and prattle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union, and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle. And me, thy poor earth-born companion and fellow mortal, I doubt not whiles, but thou may thieve. What then, poor beastie, thou mun live? A damonicker and a thrave's a small request. I'll get a blessing with the lave and never miss it. Thou wee bit hussy to and ruin, it's silly was the winds are strewn, and Nathan now tae big a newin o' foggage green, and bleak December's winds ensuing baith snell and keen. Thou saw the fields laid bare and waste, and weary winter coming fast, and cosy here beneath the blast thou thought to dwell, till crash the cruel cooter passed out through thy cell. That wee bit heap o' leaves and stibble has cost thee mony a weary nibble. Now thou'st turned out for a' thy trouble, but house or hold, to thole the winter's sleety dribble and cranrad cold. But mousie, thou art no thy lane, improving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes o' mice and men gang after gley, and leave us naught but grief and pain for promised joy. Still thou art blessed compared with me. The present only toucheth thee, but